Hello everybody, good morning, welcome. I hope we're all doing well. Today is the final day of the Elite Specialization Beta. Now, immediately get a lead on chat for this. I'm pretty sure we've got like 5 hours or something before it ends. So we have plenty of time. My adventure this week has been basically steadily going through every single one. Kind of a first impressions, mouse over, slight get to grip handling. We did the first 6 during the Festival of the Four Winds. So we tried the Crown Pavilion, which I was really hoping was going to be good as a testing ground. Kind of wasn't so good in the end. There were only a couple of like really meaningful fights there. The power creep is just too ridiculous. But anyway, the past couple of the festival's been gone, and it kind of feels like we're in a whole other era really with it. But yeah, so this is the last one today. As voted for by you guys, we are doing the Ritualist. That means there's no meaningful poll for me to do anymore. So I set a poll up today, but your options are Ritualist, 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 or Ritualist. Take your pick, guys. Do you go option 1, option 2, option 3, option 4, or option 5? Because that's all you get. And apparently 46% of you guys have voted for the top option. 10% have voted for the second option, 26 for the third, and 17 for the one. So yeah, get your votes in while we do our, our pre-look at rambling. And yeah, we'll see what we got. So yeah, I mean, I gotta say, guys, I'm in a I don't know whether it's this beta or it's because we're setting up for Mount Barrier at the moment, but I'm in a very, very Guild Wars-y kind of good headspace at the moment. Really excited about the game and like specifically like the PvE endgame stuff, which really doesn't happen for me that often. I'll tell you what I think it is as well. I think it's playing Monster Hunter, Wilds, and Rise right before this. You know, the build craft and sort of learning how to play in that game and sort of really getting into it. Like, there's a certain mindset to it that I only sometimes slip into, but when I am, I get really passionate. Oh, yeah, I want to do the big numbers. Yeah, and actually enjoying being in the aerodrome at the training arena, hitting the golem, you know, like, that's a rare thing for me. I usually think it's tedious, eye-rolling shit, but I really am really into it. And, you know, trying to find a good rotation. I've been really enjoying browsing Snow Crows lately. You know, they've got so many builds in their library now, and it's such a good resource, such a fantastic website. And just sort of having fun trying to, you know, see what I can do. And yeah, add-ons as well. Add-ons are the other thing. So in the last part, I didn't have Blish HUD set up. In fact, it's been a bit of some recurring unprofessionalism the past 2, maybe even 3 years, to be honest, where invariably I'll have a moment where I want to do something with Blish HUD, and then I only sort of realize while I'm live, and then I'm like, shit, I can't stream this. So I actually looked into it. I got to say, the Blish HUD team, they're incredible. The documentation, the literature, whatever that they have with the for the tool is just so good, so well made. So they have a whole section basically saying, look, here's the best way to stream on OBS. So you can see I am now streaming Blish, properly streaming Blish. The way that you can tell that I'm streaming Blish is because on the top left here, where all of my icons are, there's 2 extra ones. One of them is Blish itself, and another one is the pathing add-on. So I can toggle, you know, marker packs and stuff for paths on. So there you go. So for example, this is the beetle race. And if I wanted to try and get a good beetle time, I can try and follow this yellow line if I want. Usually it's around SAB, and then we got to try and make this turn or something. Usually it's around SAB that I use the paths mostly. Just because it's so handy, so good for tribulation mode. And obviously credit there doesn't necessarily go to Blish HUD, but it goes to Tekit and, you know, Taco and all that stuff from years past. But yeah, so I have pathing, but usually I just have it toggled off. And yeah, I've just been really getting into things. Guild Wars is in a bit of a weird place right now, where there's kind of 3 mod suites. There's kind of 3 add-on suites here as we move through new areas. We have the Regions of Tyria add-on back on, which I haven't talked about for a while, but is obviously a lot of fun. There's kind of 3 suites. There's Blish and all of Blish's add-ons. There's Nexus, and Nexus is the one that integrates with the game most, is the newest one. And they have their little library. They don't have so many options, but they have, you know, better options. You know, things that are more tightly integrated with the game. If they get dodgy, like showing boss health, they'll give you a warning. This might be against policy. You never know. You know, Nexus is really good, but they don't have a very good library. And then the third suite kind of is Arc. You know, like if you're running Arc DPS. You know, Arc has its own add-ons. It has the boon table add-on and the mechanics add-on and logging add-ons, which I absolutely refuse to use. Well, I do log, but I don't use, like, KP.me and stuff. I actually, just today, joined... They might even still be on LFG. Let's have a quick look here. Strike missions, strike missions. Yeah, this group here, they collapsed. That makes me so fucking happy. Can I tell you how happy that makes me? This group... End of Dragons full clear CMs, and they say bring time, LFG is slow. So they were asking for just Q DPS earlier. They were 8 out of 10, and I joined, and I said Q DPS, and I can play Q DPS. I can do every single one of those CMs. I'm not going to be a liability. But he was like, where's your KP.me link? And I said, I don't have one. I don't use that shit. Well, I didn't swear. I just said, nope, I don't have KP. And he sort of sat there for a minute and he went, sorry, I can't remember what he said, but I got kicked. Like, straight away. Like, it's so bad, man. The fucking KP culture is getting really bad. And I refuse to use it, and I continue to refuse to use it. Anyway, but this is kind of an add-on suite, right? Like, unofficial extras, can I just say? Really good. In the last part, I was talking about it would be really nice to have different keybinds for different characters. So, you know... Catalyst is like one of the worst design things Arenanet have ever made from a usability standpoint, because they created an F5 that you spam. Just take for a second. I don't know if any of you guys are sitting at your PCs right now, all right? Just take a second. Put your fingers over on WAS and D. Just take a second to look how far away F5 is. I don't care how dustbin lid-handed you are, right? How big your hands are. F5 is so far away. You have to rebind it. You have to. So anyway, I put it on Q. It's amazing on Q. But then on a lot of other classes, I have F1 is Q. Like Warrior, as I was saying. Like Rev F1 and being on Q is really good. So what I need is binds for specific classes. And Arc offers that through unofficial extras. It's so good. Use per profession keybinds. See, I have Q on F5 right now. If I just swap to, you know, my Rev, for example, Q is now Legend Swap. And there's no prompts. There's nothing I have to remember. See, because I've got Arc, you know, because Arc just loads, I don't have to remember to separately boot Arc. You have to remember to separately boot Blish, as far as I know. There's no, like, automatic booting of Blish. So, sorry, I'm seeing brightly colored boxes coming up in chat here. So anyway, this is just so good. So yeah, there's kind of like 3 add-on suites. I sort of wish it was all unified and it was all integrated, but whatever, right? Like, Blish is the only awkward one. Nexus loads straight away. Nexus loads Arc. And you know, and Nexus will load Arc DPS plugins as well. It has its own tab. So Nexus kind of has it all handled, except Blish. You know, but Blish is brilliant by its own rights. I mean, really. The only issue that I have with Blish, right, is in the Blish settings, if I go to, you know, interface size, if I want to use normal, it looks really blurry. I don't know whether you guys can see that on stream that well. You'll probably have to put it to 1440p and full screen. But Blish is naturally really blurry. It only looks vaguely good on large, but even here, it still looks kind of blurry. But again, as I say, their documentation is fantastic. Like they have on their website, they say, look, we know it looks a bit blurry. It's about our scaling setup. We're working on it kind of thing, you know, and hopefully they do. Yeah, if Blish had like a thing that automatically booted with Guild Wars 2, kind of fire and forget, I'd love it. But I mean, honestly, the UI is so good. My favorite add-on by far is Ideka's custom combat text. It is the successor to SCT, the Arc DPS add-on. Get it, guys. It is the best fucking thing. I've done a video on it before, or SCT anyway. This is just way better SCT. So I'm going to attack this mower here. Oh, Look to the left here. Look, the Crimson Mower pecked me for 140 damage, and I get the icon. He used Deadly Kick, and I get a different icon. He used Peck again. You get all this extra detail out of the game, and often a lot of Guild Wars 1 icons coming up. I can see when he crit me. There's Deadly Kick. They do another one that looks a bit like a Griffin animation. It's so fun. Last time I talked about this, I demoed it in POF, and you got to see the cool Jin attacks. It's cool in strikes and raids because you can actually see mechanics that you got hit by in real time. You can, but it does so much more than that. It's not just that. That's just how I largely have it set up. You know, and he's got a really good settings panel up here. I haven't seen any other Blish add-ons actually use other tabs. Look at how genius this is made. Look at how good the settings are. And I'm not going to go in and do a big tutorial for you guys here. But, so, like, his default areas, right? He has, all damage we do is here. And you might have to, so here, I'll look at it in the shadow. You see these boxes here? This is like, he's got it so beautifully set up. I'll turn it on because I have it disabled. Let's enable it. So as I hit things, right, you will see so neatly, and it all animates so perfectly. The guy's like a genius UI designer. Check this out, right? So Triple Sear, Flame Wheel, Singeing Strike. You can see we've hit 4 ticks of Flame Wheel, 5 hits. And then, you know, I think by default also he has Condi pressure on, which I also turned off. So let's turn that on. And look at how he's got like the burns and shit. Oh, we actually killed that so fast. The Condi's never had a chance to manifest. Oh, things are way too weak here. They're dying to the power damage before we can see anything. So we're over at the Shattered Henge. Sorry, no, we're over at Lowland Shore. That's weird. Why did it pop up for the old map? I've increased the animation speed on that add-on because it's too slow generally by default. There you go. See, look, you can see we're doing burn damage here. I did 214 burn damage, which undoubtedly procced from burning precision there. It's so good. You know, Guild Wars 1 had incoming damage on a UI here to the right, like sort of behind Liss's hat right now. And so what he set it up with is... I say he, by the way. I don't actually know if it is a guy. He's got outgoing on the right and incoming on the left. And, you know, for incoming, he's got, like, power damage you take, which I've got here. But then he's also got, like, conditions and heals, if you want, so you can see barrier that's coming in. And it's all fully customizable. It's customizable in about 1,000 ways that I am not talking about right now. So here, I think by default, he had it at, like, -300, right? So you have, you know, outgoing on the right, incoming on the left. And it's just so neatly done. I fucked with the SCT a lot. Like a lot. He's got like pet damage. So that was another thing. So I was toying the absolute easiest build for progging anything on. If you guys are interested maybe in strikes, if you're interested in raids, but you don't know what to play, the absolute best build... hey man, watching the stream, just want to make sure you're aware the beta does end in 2 hours. Okay, it's 2, not 5. Well, we're still clear. Don't worry, we've still got plenty of time. The absolute easiest fucking build in the game. I mean, there's a pistol thief build that's also extremely good. For like brain off. But it's Condi Mech. 0 kit Condi Mech, right? So this thing's just like obscene. We'll go to where we were testing some of our other beta stuff. You basically, you just hit 3 and 2. Well, I'm going to stun break there. The occasional signet. I'll see here, my Condi Mech F skills are on the wrong binds now. But anyway, down here you see it says Sky Circus. So like yesterday I had it set up where what I was doing was I wasn't displaying any incoming damage. I don't want to see what the Hydra do to me. And then for outgoing damage, all I want to see is what my pet does. So I can just disable everything, right? I mean, maybe we can leave our break bar on there or whatever. So I've got just pet, and you can add like filters to them as well. You actually have to edit the .json. So have, you know, see VS Code or whatever. That language is really annoying. Can I just bitch about JSON for a second? Why the fuck do I have to spam so many commas when I'm writing JSON? What is that? Why do I have to tell you how many entries there are, or that it's the last entry via all these commas? Why do you can't figure that out yourself? Have to hold your hand? Oh, anyway. Yeah, so I think he's adding support like within the UI for filters later, but for now you can just, you know, edit the file. But if you look here, right, when my mech does an animation, I can see when he lands the discharge array, right? So now I know I can hit Q, and I can see that he... not Q, sorry. So there I see he hit his rolling smash. Now I can see he's hit his sky circus. Now I can see he's hit his Jade Buster cannon, which actually has the incoming icon, by the way. You know. Another thing that I have set up with it, and this is the thing that I'm really excited about, that is very, very cool. When this is what I was talking about on the previous part. If I go to, say, my warrior here, and we head on over to... Oh my god, my warrior never went to Janthir Wilds. Well, apparently my warrior went to here, but never got any waypoints. That's bizarre. I thought you always by default unlocked a waypoint. Weird. Alright, let's go to Lake Doric. The Lakeside Bazaar. So the thing I'm really excited and I'm setting up is... so these are like all of his default things, right? I've created a new area, so I'll disable the default area for now. I've created a new one just called Auto Attacks, and what I'm doing is I'm blacklisting all icons that show up except the third in an auto chain. So Keen Strike, the final auto, or like Hammer Smash, the final auto. See, some builds you really want to nail that final auto, and on this build it's really easy, to be honest, and you can just watch the animation. But sometimes it's a lot more subtle. Like Rev Sword is much more subtle, or Scepter, the third auto on Scepter for Necro. It's much more subtle. So what I actually get now, what I can do is I can just have a pop-up that shows me when it's landed, right? So Hammer Smash. It says Hammer Smash over Natalie there, right? And if I had quickness, you would actually see. It's actually insane there that without quickness it doesn't even pop. I need to change that. Once again, we have... so like Keen Strike 1. He blocked the second Keen Strike. There's a third Keen Strike. It shows you how many crit versus how many didn't crit, right? So 2 of those crit there, 2 of them didn't. And it's really nice. So if you want to count like 5 Keen Strikes before you do your Bull's Rush, which is what I happen to do, you can see them tick in, right? And I have it set up over Natalie, fairly centrals. You know, it's easy with a lot of warrior builds. I use the fractal dagger, so you get the nice white trail, so you can count anyway. But it's just fun, you know. This shit's just fun, and I especially like seeing incoming damage. So yeah. But what I need to do is find all the skill IDs and plug in all of the third autos. And then maybe I'll copy-paste the code into Discord or something so you guys can use it for yourself if you like. What else am I doing with Blish real quick? I have Pathing, I have custom combat text, I have regions of terror. Bomb Your Feet I'm not using anymore. This is supposed to like throw your mouse over UI so you can dump a ground target at your feet. The thing is, right, I'm only really using that for Earthshaker on this Spellbreaker variant right now. And to be honest, it doesn't actually matter, because I can squeeze all of my skills in before the weapon swap cooldown comes up anyway. It doesn't actually save me anything. You know, it's not like I squeeze 1 extra auto attack in by perfectly Earthshakering at my feet. It does nothing for me, so I don't actually need it, and it's just clunky, so I'm not using that. And then events and stuff, I used to use that, but nowadays through Nexus, I use the pie charts. The pie charts are so good. I really want to see that guy keep going. He messaged me saying he's really happy I use that add-on. Fast Load, Arc, Boon Table, World Bosses by Sognus 1204. This is incredible. It's really good. Check this out on Nexus, World Bosses. But the thing is, he said he doesn't know anyone that uses it. He was really happy to see I use it in my videos. But at the time, he felt like he made it and didn't get any feedback from the world. And I know exactly how that feels, man, when I make mods and put them on the Steam Workshop. I've had incredible response on those, but like some of the earlier ones I did, like I know how that feels. You guys should definitely check that out. Anyway, all right, there you go. A little bit about add-ons, blah blah blah. Just a bit of what I've been doing, having fun with the game. Let's do the Ritualist. Let's delete our Troubadour here. I think I called it Troubadour Music. And here we go, guys. The end of Dragon's Beta. Let's see where the votes went. Yeah, it's the top option. Ritualist at the top ended up winning. So let me just check here. So yeah, we had some donations. Oh, it's Hardy. Hardy saying the beta event will last until 10 a.m. PDT. Okay, so we got about 2 hours to check out the Rit here. All right. Or 1 hour, 50 minutes. There's plenty of time, guys. As an Elder Scrolls player... hi, Mike. As an Elder Scrolls player, you naturally spam F5? What do you spam F5 for in Elder Scrolls? F5 is C for you? I like C for utility skills. Yeah, for years, I put all that shit on my MMO mouse. And it was... And I suffered in competitive as a result for years. Like, the early years of Guild Wars 2... I was never that bad at it, right? But, I was never, like... really top level either. And one of the reasons for the early years was because I was stun breaking and doing everything with my thumb. And you know, your thumb is lingering like at the top left of the MMO mouse because it's around weapon skills 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you have like utilities down on 9, 10, 11, like it's a long way to track with your thumb. You don't think about it. But if you put it on your left hand on C, F, R, E, Q, any of those, trust me, the QOL and the speed you can hit those hotkeys, specifically for stun breaks, is huge. It was a game changer for me when I finally started doing that over on the left. BRSP says, not to be anti-waffle, but you were asking earlier and the beta ends in 2 hours. Okay. Oh my god. Thank you very much, guys. Oh my god, and another one. Look at that. I just earned $22. That's about £18, guys. Look at that. That's amazing. Thank you. So that's how to do this job, is it? I ask a question, then act oblivious? I like how the big, bright, shiny pop-ups showing me money didn't distract me, but the whisper in-game did. I'm so sorry about all this, guys. I got a bunch of comments I want to highlight. One guy said, hey, just by the way, why don't you try putting chat on your main monitor? Trust me, I've done that. I had OBS set up for that. And it didn't help, really. I've got chat right there, guys. It is right there. It didn't help to have chat on the main screen. What will finish first, the beta or the intro? Okay. Oh, quick save, of course. Right, quick save, quick load, yeah. Of course. All right. So, what was... I guess this is the question. What was the Ritualist? The Ritualist was... Oh, yeah, it's Gux! Of course it is. How could I ever forget it's Gux? Except there were, like, a couple of variants of Gux, and the best variant is when you use one of the Total Makeover Kit faces. You know what's a really interesting element of Guild Wars 2 UI? Like, super fucking fringe, weird element of Guild Wars 2 UI. That, by the way, is not descriptive of the game at all. But this thing down here that says complexity. It's always so interesting to see that, isn't it? So they consider Necromancer a tier 1 complexity class. They consider Guardian T1, Warrior T1, Rev T2, NG T3, Thief T2, Ranger T1, Mesmer T2, and LE T3. About the only one of these that I actually agree with, like hard and like is fairly descriptive. And I don't mean this in a sneering way or anything, because it's actually what I love about the class, and it's why I play so much of it, is Warrior as T1. And the only reason I say that is because it does tend to be a bit lighter on the F skills. It doesn't have loads of hidden cooldowns in terms of kits and tomes and all that sort of shit. Warrior is really clean and really well made. I actually think it comes out better than any other class in a lot of ways. You know, it's weapon swap, squeeze as many cooldowns into that weapon swap as you can before getting to your next set and do it again. It's perfect, it's robust, it does what it says on the tin. A lot of these other... Rev, I would definitely put at T3. hiding half your cooldowns behind legends, energy, desyncing legends from the weapon that you want on it is fucking crazy, right? Revenant deserves T3 hard. I don't think Elementalist deserves T3 just because it has attunements. A lot of Elementalist, like endgame PvE play, can be very you know, it doesn't really... I've never really subscribed to this idea that LE players are good players. It's all just muscle memory. It doesn't really... I don't know, you just flow, right? From one to the other to the other. Yeah, there's a little bit, like, picking it up in the first place. But, like, you know, all that shit I was doing at launch on Dagger was completely brain off. It was exactly as brain off as... I mean, you're squishier, I guess? But these days, not necessarily true. Jade bot core, the defensive Jade bot thing. You know, when you plug a battery in, if you're running water trait, you can take fuck tons of extra vitality. It's not necessarily true. And, you know, that's why this is such a weird thing to even put in the game, the complexity thing. NG, if you're not running kits, is not complex at all. In fact, it's the least complex thing in the game. That Mechanist build I was just showing off is blow for blow one of the least complex things in the game. So I don't know. In a world with elite specs and stuff, is this really representative? You know, a launch view where Necro, maybe you don't dip into Shroud too much. I don't know. Right, we got to play the game. Here we go. Let's play Necro. Blah, 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 blah. Gux. Returns. No. Communing. Gux. There we go. Let's get in there. Don't take shots at DDLE. That was beautiful back in the day. I mean, it's beautiful now, man. The thing is, I think it's some things I don't like. I mean, I'm kind of opposed to the speeding up of combat, right? So the loss of classic churning earth for the little shitty leap churning earth we have now is sad to me, right? It's more usable now because it's faster. But there's certain things about the flow that they are not improved because they are sped up. They're just not. But overall, you know, there's a lot of fun new buttons and toys and things to play with these days compared to old. Anyway, here we go. The Ritualist. First of all, we need to prioritize our looks. I can't remember if they actually did this on their stream, but obviously it has to be the Ritualist thing. There's also a Ritualist staff. Do we want to put a staff on? I think we do. They've started me off with a greatsword. Screw greatsword. We have to go fully into the theme here. So let's put that on there. Let's type Ritualist. Did I just spell that wrong? No. I'm not sure. I don't know about... I mean, dagger, I guess we keep because... that's not even a dagger. That's a fucking sword. Because of the icon. It's not a good icon. More than any of the others, this icon gives me the impression that the person who did the art for icons was, like, contracted out from somewhere else. And they heard the word Ritualist, and naturally their mind is going to go to a dagger. But it really doesn't have the relevance you'd want. What do we do, guys? There's not, like, a minion-y dagger, is there? I'm tempted to put Zequatl on there just so that we have Zequatl, a minion. Kurzik stuff. I mean, something vaguely Canthan. Let's just take the Bearkin Claw, I guess, for now. There we go. Anyway, the true vibe is here. There you have it. The Ritualist. All levels. We are a Ritualist. Okay, so there's our new Shroud. So, again, speaking of which... God, I hope that because this is a new elite spec... No, it's not going to break because I don't have it set up based on spec. So, Profession Skill 1. I'm going to put on Q. And what else do we want? We could put Rupture Anguish on E, I guess. And then 3-4, fair enough. Right, let's just run on in. Oh, no. We need to pick a good spot now. So, Cantha, obviously. A few places come to mind. The opening area where we first saw Ritualist Spirits at Saitang Harbor. You know, the nighttime event there. There's also the cool creepy graveyard. I think I'm going to pick the graveyard. It just feels more necro-y. And even during the day is kind of dark and kind of spooky. By the way, another comment that I had that's quite interesting over the past few days is we were talking about the fact I compressed my audio, which helped you guys hear the Ritualist. Sorry, the Troubadour music. And I said, okay, it's because of that, and I didn't think of it. And I said, but there was a weird moment where I listened back to my own video, and I still couldn't hear it, right? Someone dropped a comment saying, I didn't realize this. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but when you're on YouTube, which you are, obviously, right now, if you click that little cog icon, that settings icon, they updated that in the past 6 months or so. You know, I'm used to that having, like, playback speed. Like, I nearly always listen to videos at 1.5 times speed or whatever, including my own content, and I do recommend that. Which one is the graveyard? Oh, it's this way. They updated that recently. You can more granularly affect the speed now. Granularly. You know, it's a slider instead of pre-baked options. Anyway, I got a comment saying that one of the things that's been enabled on those settings now is there is a compressor on the YouTube player too. You can actually compress it directly on the YouTube player on your end. And so it might be that that's on by default for you guys, but it's off for me, and that explains why I couldn't hear it. But that's a good idea on YouTube's end. Everything should have a compressor. Nice, big, obvious for everyone to see. VLC has one, but you kind of have to go digging for it. Windows Media Player should have it. What are some old players? What are some QuickTime Player? Man, QuickTime. Back in my day, I used to download 240p Halo trick videos from Halo Combat Evolved of people doing like warthog jumps and landing on the towers on level 2, or you know, just all kinds of weird shit. And they took forever to download, and they were always .movs, and you needed the QuickTime Player to watch those. God, they were exciting. And the old preview videos for Halo 2 as well. Good times. All right, okay, here we are. We just need to not be getting attacked, I guess. I'm gonna try to keep to core stuff here. Well, there's a stun break on C. Thank you for that, Arenanet. Right. Leave me in peace now, please. Because this is a bit of a hostile area. Right, the Ritualist is ready. Here we go. What did that take? Half an hour. That's pretty good, guys. That's pretty good. Maybe it's only available when watching a video and not a stream. Oh, it's not there right now. Oh, it works on your TV, but not in a browser. Oh. I don't know. Dude, one of my favorite things is when people send me pictures of, like, their IRL fucking house, like living room or whatever, and they have my content on their TV. It always feels really weird to me and reminds me that they're actually real people, you know, watching. It's very easy to forget that in a way, you know. And that's not... that's probably quite a horrible thing for me to say. It is weird, though. It's like, oh, this is real. It weirds me up. I always love that. You know, someone will have, like, you know, their coffee table and their dinner will be on there or whatever. And I almost get a bit icked out because I sort of get really weirded out by the thought of my voice blaring out of someone else's speakers. Anyway, spawning power, death trap. What? See, why wasn't the Paragon one called leadership? Death Shroud is replaced with Ritualist Shroud. Spirits created by Shroud skills will persist until you exit the Shroud. After performing their initial attack, spirits will periodically attack enemies, gain access to weapon spells. Okay, so let's just... with all these specs, I've given you a quick overview of my expectations and initial thoughts. I mean, obviously, you had those in full when we looked at the blog posts and the original streams. This was always a weird move to me. Immediately, it felt strange that they put the spirits in a shroud. I think the truest, most representative button press-wise experience of a Ritualist from Guild Wars 1 is not hiding them in Shroud. It's putting them on the utility skills and the F skills. It's summoning spirits with F skills, and it's summoning them with utilities. F skills, you could say there's a bit of an overlap with Scourge. And that is egregious because it's the same class, right? I would argue, though, because, you know, shades are immobile and everything, right? I would argue, though, that if the spirits are actually getting health and can physically be attacked, that feels distinct. If they linger a lot longer, that feels distinct. And in a button-pressy way, Scourge only summons shades on F1. If we're summoning spirits on F2, 3, 4, 5, even up to a 6, if you like, then that would have been enough to feel very distinct, you know? If you got 5 or even 6 spirits, and I know that sounds a bit crazy, but that is not Uncharted territory. We go all the way up to F7 for keybinds these days, right? And I'm not saying that's a good thing, but I am saying that, you know, Pandora's box has been opened. I kind of feel like that would have worked. And then especially with utilities, if I'm just hitting a utility, you know, if my elite is SOS, Signet of Spirits, and I press the elite, and now there's 3 spirits standing next to me, that would very representatively give me that same feel of being a Guild Wars 1 Ritualist, right? And I'm not saying that that's the be-all and end-all, but at the same time, they are selling you that fantasy when they tell you the Ritualist is coming to Guild Wars 2. So I don't know. I feel like my first port of call, if I were designing the Rit for Guild Wars 2, my first port of call would have been to experiment with both of those. I guess Arenanet did that. I don't know. What they've ended up is creating a Ritualist Shroud. And there's something about that I don't like. Like, it's such a specific, weird idea of a shroud. There's some things that I do really like. So, like, the idea that we're tapping into the mists to, like we're in that space between here and the other world, and we're pulling the spirits to us. There is something kind of cool about that. But I don't know. When you're in Shroud, you only get 5 buttons. So it sort of... It leaves us to only 5 varieties of spirits. And then at that, they then took the auto. And the auto isn't even a spirit. So, you know, I'm not sure I'm a fan. In the stream, they won me around a little bit more by explaining, okay, we're not having the spirits be DPSable. So instead what it is you DPS the Ritualist out of the Shroud, thus killing them. So it's a way to kill them all at once by hitting the Ritualist. That sounds like a fun dynamic for competitive. As I mentioned, there was a snotty message about it in their live stream as it went along, saying, oh, why would you design a spec that can be countered? Which is just insane. It's such an asinine comment. Oh, this is not good. Let's find another grave to linger by. Oh, this one isn't going to be good. So they kind of won me around with that. That sounds like a fun interaction, you know. But then again, I ask myself, why are they not DPSable? Why not have the spirits be DPSable? Shades are not DPSable. So why not have the spirits be? And so this kind of goes into like a long-term thing. It's like Renegade spirits, right? Renegade spirits used to... this is really hard to actually kill this thing without using 90% of my buttons. There, we didn't have to heal until after the Mark 5 because it was a fear and he couldn't kill us during the fear. And then I had to dodge when he left stealth. Yeah, I don't know. This might be a shit place to test this. This area looks relatively safe. You know what I always wonder? Quick sidebar. You know how in a lot of games these days, there's some... and it's magic to me as far as I'm concerned. I don't have a computer science background, right? But you know a lot of games have like a code that canvases all the geometry of the world and verifies there basically aren't places you can get stuck. It's quite... You know, they'll generate all the rocks and the trees and stuff, but generally there'll be a little thing that, like, after a few seconds being stuck, it will, like, create a slick floor that you can jump or something, you know. There's a lot of games that do that. There's kind of like an overall canvassing of the game. I always wonder whether Arenanet has something like that for hostile enemy spawning. Like, they don't have designers manually tapping in every single thing, right? Like... Is it generatively making sure there's no gaps in where mobs can spawn? See, like, right now I'm looking for that gap, right? But I wonder if they've got something that, like, sorts it out all for them. So ultimately, all patrols and spawns accounted for everywhere is hostile. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I kind of like the idea of spirits being DPSable, but over the years they've taken that away. As far as I've known, that's mostly because of world versus world and PvP. These days we're kind of in a new era though, where they're more aggressive about differences between the two. I don't know, maybe that's a fundamental thing that you can't reconcile. So it was decided at some point that spirits cannot be DPS'd. You know, too many ticks of damage when it comes to server calculations in world versus world. Too annoying, just like Renegade spirits were when it comes to PvP, dumping them all on the node. So they've just immediately learned from the past. Ritualist spirits cannot be DPS'd. So let's put them in a shroud so you DPS the Ritualist. So they kind of won me over on that. And then finally, they lost me again because there's a trait here, which means that doesn't matter. So if that trait ends up the predominant way to play Ritualist in this, that, or the other format, is it an interaction, a novel interaction we'll even play with? So yeah, those are kind of my weird thoughts on it. I don't know. I just don't really like that they're on the shroud. But that's my initial expectation. I'm hoping now, as I play this, we've got 2 hours to play this now, and hopefully we'll find that actually it feels great and fun, and Debbie, you know, gets swatted away, and we'll be all right. So yeah, that's everything, I think. Oh yeah, and then I just sort of have similar thoughts about visuals. I wish the Ritualist spirits looked blue. I wish these icons looked blue. I wish the spirits were chained up. And really looked like just new, fancier, higher poly, better textured versions, better shaded versions of the Guild Wars 1 spirits. I want the Guild Wars 1 spirits just like the next evolution. I don't want these, right? But what we're going to be summoning is these. Which, doesn't that mean that they're like inherently Canthan? I mean, I guess, fair enough. Rit is inherently Canthan in the lore. Alright, so maybe it was a failing of Guild Wars 1 factions that they didn't, Yeah, that's a pretty stupid take, to be honest. That's just like a boomer GW1 take. They're probably, by most metrics, higher quality, better looking now. But I don't know, I wanted the blue. Now, let's see. So, the last shroud we checked right at the start of this mini-series was Luminary Shroud, and it didn't have any art, right? It didn't have any screen effect. It didn't feel like a shroud at all. Let's finally see, shall we? Okay, so just to check here, by the way. They've given us Soul Reaping, and they've given us Eternal Life. Oh, fuck. Eternal Life is, basically, there was a Scourge build that was so fun. A really tanky Scourge build on Eternal Life that I used to love. Like, really fun, free, basic, easy wins. Right up to Plat 2. What I'm going to do... So basically what this means is if we ever run out of Shroud, we regenerate back always. We always have some in the pocket, which means we could always go in and out of Ritualist Shroud in the pocket, which is actually really good for testing. So just bear that in mind as we're playing along. It's also giving us prot when we go in. That is not a Ritualist thing. And we're getting might when we go in from Spite. Siphoned Power. No, not Siphoned Power. Which bit? Awaken the Pain. Awaken the Pain. Okay, so anyway, so let's go in. Let's see what the art looks like. Okay, it's there. It is there. It just feels really static. I don't know. Couldn't we see, like, ghosts? You know that... I don't know what they're called. You know that type of ghost? I think it's, like, Japanese. Is it Japanese? You know where it's like a face? You know, like a worm ghost? That's how I call them, right? You know, like where it's a face, but it's on, like, a long trailing, like, tail. It's like a face on a line. Do you guys get what I mean? I'm going to draw it on the minimap, right? It's like this. It's almost like a sock ghost, but you usually see loads of them. So, like, when I watched Full Metal Alchemist, I think there were a bunch of them. You know that? Can't we have, like, those? Like, going, woo! You know, like spirits creeping onto the screen. Wouldn't that look good? Also, I would rather it's not called Ritualist Shroud. Wouldn't it be cool if it was called, like, Mist's Shroud? And we had a bit of flavor there that says step between the two flames. Because, like, that's the problem with it being a shroud. Weren't we already kind of doing it with Death Shroud? I don't know. It's just, it's a bit weird. Oh, brilliant. We can't see the minimap. Shit. Okay, here's the minimap, right? I forgot. I need a better spot for this. They're like, oh, I'm drawing them a lot worse now. Do you know what I mean? Like they're going, woo! Like that. You guys know what I mean, right? And they usually stack together like in a writhing... you know, puddle on the ground or whatever. Yeah. Fat list is in the way. I mean, I used to love having the mini-map up at the top. I really did. Do you guys know what I mean? I'm waiting for that one message in chat for someone saying, yeah, you're not crazy. I know what you mean. In LBA, they're like all on the walls. Like made of stone. Please keep explaining by simply going woo and drawing worms. Yes, I will do. Kerry, you know what I mean, don't you? Anyway, look, we're talking about this for way too long. It's okay. All right. Let's actually look at some skills. Essence Blast, Shroud, Fire Blast of Energy. There's more powerful for every active spirit. Active spirits will prioritize. So this is like cool target. This is like, you know, control spacing something in Guild Wars 1. Which... kind of was a not really. I mean, it's just a Guild Wars 1 thing, isn't it? Getting your heroes and your henchmen to target things. There's actually an element of Toolbox that does it automatically for you, I think. Talking about add-ons. Oh my god, Eternal Life is charging me up so much. Wait, what? Holy fuck. No way. It's 66% in PvE. No, don't play unranked shit. It's like 20% in here, right? Yeah. No, 50? No, what? We're on a different build here. Eternal Life. 10%! 10% in PvP. Oh my god, I had no idea it was so high in PvE. How long has it been this high in PvE? That's awesome. Holy shit, I love that. You know, over and over and over again in this mini-series, I've realized, like, because I haven't done balance videos for like 2 years, and it is crazy how many little traits and things all over the place are popping up now that I'm just like, oh shit. How high can my voice get? It can get a lot higher than that. You've probably heard it while we've been raiding together, Silver. You've probably heard it. Oh my god, that's amazing. Okay, so Essence Blast. I don't know what the regular one is. They've called it Blast. Fine. And we stack Might due to Spite. Let's see what the animation looks like. I mean, what more could I expect, right? Actually, no, I don't like it. I don't like it. Come on, it looks like regular-ass Death Shrouds. It's just a recolored Death Shroud. I don't like it. Sorry. That should, like, crawl along the ground or something. You know, like the hands that come up out of the floor, the clawing, ghostly hands when you're in the ghostly outfit. It should be that. It should be like, it should snake its way or something. That should be different. Sorry, not happy with that one. Okay, so then we got the spirits themselves. So, oh my god, Arenanet did me a real solid put Eternal Life on there because I wouldn't have thought to put it on. Shroud. Well, okay, let's hit this guy. I mean, there's going to be nothing fun about this here. Oh, okay, there's a good animation there. I like the target. That looks cool. I don't know what the weird circular element is low down. But it's kind of like, you know, when you take a personal target over him. I mean, look, the sound effect isn't interesting. I guess we ran out of VFX budget. Oh god, we got a lot of shit going on there. I don't know what it is. Some events popped. Right, we've been pushed to the edge of the graveyard, but we can look in. All right. Okay, so let's summon our first spirit. Now, they do have the Shroud tag. Oh, that's quite cool. But what traits use the Shroud tag that are in just the rest of the class? I don't actually know any. Right, Anguish, summon it quick. Oh, I need a target to summon as well. Oh, I need a target? Ah. Surely building a nest of spirits before whatever is a part of the fantasy. Right? Okay, I need a target. At what range? 900 range. It's not even 1200 or 15. Mark an enemy to take more damage from your summoned creatures. Then summon a Spirit of Anguish. Yeah, and you get all these weird double effects on them too. Anguish fires a barrage of projectiles that deal increased damage against CC'd enemies, and for every condition on them. Wow, that's pretty loaded. There's a lot going on there. Right, let's let it recharge. So here we go. But you know what? The colour's not that bad. He attacks so slowly. That interval is incredibly slow. I'm glad we picked here instead of the harbour, because the harbour doesn't have many monsters during the day. Hopefully there's a trait that increases their attack speed. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they were fairly rapid fire before. Look, I do apologise. This section's going to be a bit weird because I love Rit in GW1, and I really am just looking for an accurate feeling experience to that. So where it deviates, I'm generally not going to come out that favourably. So we want a CC. So the thing is, right, it does more damage to crowd-controlled enemies. But the cripple it's applying doesn't count. I can't leave to Whale of Doom because leaving unsummons the spirit. Unsummoned sounds like it's not a word. It sounds like it should be desummoned or something. See, another thing I'd like to be able to do is summon this isn't how it worked in the first game, but if I touch Anguish again, I'd like to have 2. But it will overwrite it. This is kind of funny, actually. This feels very Harbinger-y. The pressure feels alright on the auto, by the way. But again, spamming Shroud autos is always fun. On Harbinger, you do this volley, right? Pew, 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 pew. That's what Harbinger does, like the multi-Hadouken or whatever. And this is just, and it's on the 2. It's just slightly shifted now that it's from a spirit next to me doing it. As far as competitive is concerned, the way that this is set up is probably better. Because, like, I can watch for when a spirit spawns and then just instinctively dodge. Assuming they're all going to do some big pressure. So hopefully there's a CC somewhere else on this. Obviously, Wanderlust is one of them. I really hope I can up his interval. I really hope I can up his interval. Okay, so there you go. That's Anguish. And oh, he's still standing here even after I leave. Oh, so they've defaulted me onto that trait. Lingering Spirits. Well, let's not do that. Let's just go nice and basic here with Wilder's Boon. Because he's lingering and I want to see the regular behavior. Let's see what it looks like to have him just despawn. So he does his volley. I dip out. Oh, there's no animation on the despawn. He just unceremoniously... vanishes. Let's see that again. Oh no, there is an animation. I think the animation got culled, maybe? Which is a bit odd because my culling is medium right now. By the way, I feel terrible. Didn't I just miss a donation? I think I did. Let me scroll up. Like, way up. Well, way up. First of all, John Sellers with the 10 gift subs. Thank you, John. John, I think you've gifted more subs than, like, anyone else at this point. I mean, really. That's insane, man. Thank you so much. John's been doing that for a year, maybe? Nearly? Yeah, and way up here, Chronic! With the orange donation. $20. Guys, you're all being very, very, very generous today. Thank you. Oh my god. WP been watching since TB showcase your lore videos way back when. I love watching your content. Sorry, I was spamming Gux as a suggestion for the stream when you made the character, and it's because my name is Gus. Oh, nice. Well, I named him Gux because I have an actual Necro on my account that I want to be playing more of called Gux. That's awesome. I love the name Gus, by the way, but I think it's only because I really like Gus from Rooster Teeth. I'm talking like 10 years ago when I actually used to watch and listen to their podcast. That's amazing, man. Yeah, and it's cool to hear people talk about TB. Because obviously time marches on and he's been gone for a while now. Yeah, and it's always weird to me when I hear people say from when he showcased my thing, because I think, didn't he do, I don't remember him showcasing my lore videos. It's funny, Mike's there in chat right now. All I remember is at the end of one podcast where they plugged other members of the Game Station network, of which I was a part of. They just randomly threw up a jumping puzzle video I did with Mike, and it was not us at our best. I love that series, and you know, it's very cool. It's got good cozy vibes and all that. But it was a video where we were like, it was a really slow intro, not unlike my content these days, where we were just like we weren't even really doing the JP. It wasn't like a montage or an edit of fun moments and shocking falls and stuff. It was just bullshit. It was a terrible showcase, really. And Mike would agree. I remember talking to him about it. God, it was like 10 years ago, and it was really weird because it's not like TB messaged me and said, hey, I'm going to plug this thing. I like what you do. He just kind of threw it up. And here's the thing, right? I hate this industry in a lot of ways. I remember years later, Matt met TB. I remember, so just to finish that thing about the podcast, I remember it was just kind of a weird, awkward moment. And I was like, no one's going to fucking watch my channel based on that. No one. But then I sometimes get comments, you know, years later. Because that's how big that podcast was. It was just absolutely massive. It was really good. Anyway, yeah, years and years and years later, Matt was like going to cons and stuff and meeting people. And he had a few stories for me. He had a story about when he met Dodger and he said, oh, like, I'm a fan. And she immediately had like a bit of a kind of a weird vibe. Like, clearly she's been harassed by a lot of nerds. And like he could just feel it. Anyway, he said when he was talking to TB once, he mentioned WoodenPotatoes, and TB was like, ooh, like had like a cringy response. So clearly I'd ticked TB off at some point, or he decided my content wasn't high quality at some point. I guess he watched me a little bit because he was like many people, you know, these fucking people that get big, they just bandwagon. They're not fans. They're businessmen, really, right? And they see niches to be filled, and it's disgusting, cynical, and I don't like or appreciate anyone that thinks that way. But basically, it's like, oh, this is an upcoming MMO that's going to be big. I'll make sure I try that. You know, not out of any real passion. And then, so of course, like he saw what creators were in the space, and there weren't many creators in the space at the time. I was one of them. So he'd clearly watched me a bit, but at some point, as Guild Wars 2 had come out and then fizzled, so to speak, he'd lost interest. And yeah, and then years later, this was around Heart of Thorns era, Matt met him, and apparently it was not too favorable. But, you know, I never spoke a word to the man. I never met him. I never, you know, never had a single communication. Anyway, there you go. Sorry. Back to the beta. Back to the beta. Okay. I wonder if one of the things that I did was I have an April Fool's video. I used to do an April Fool's video every year. And I did a kind of cringy April Fool video, maybe in 2011 or something. Where I think I mentioned him or something. Maybe he saw that. He also might have thought I was copying him. Because for a long time, I did a series. Like one of my essay series, I called WTF blah, blah, blah. I called What the Fuck. So like I did No Healer or this, that, and the other thing. And I swear to God, it was not me copying his WTF is First Impression series. I wasn't trying to spoof that name. I wasn't trying to piggyback off of that name or bandwagon that name. I called it that because I wanted to speak to the outrage. Like he did WTF is blah, blah, blah. And it was never outrage. But I did essays about community outrages. What the fuck? No, Healer in Guild Wars 2, there was a lot of... that was a controversy. So that's why I named my series that. And then it just made sense... sorry, I named my video that. And then it made sense to just name all the videos that. But he might have looked at that and thought, who's this poser fucking aping me, you know. But it was never that. Anyway, but presumably he had seen that, because that was an early series. Right, let's move on. So yeah, Anguish. Does it feel like Painful Bond and Anguish in Guild Wars 1? No. And yeah, I'm surprised that the auto isn't Painful Bond, to be honest. Let's see, Wanderlust. So oh, that is good looking, isn't it? Wanderlust's animation is great. So then it goes to autoing. That's cool. That was like an actual like little ritual area. Let's cast it again. So it does some kind of a CC on initial cast, a daze, plus a packet of damage. And then, as it attacks, it does these boons. So I remarked on their original stream... Oh, an Oni is spawning. Something is lurking in the shadows. I remarked on the original stream... The 3 condis this spirit is doing is fucking strong. You won't care in PvE, right? But look at that. Chill, slow, and weakness. Guys, imagine being like, I don't know. Imagine trying to line a backstab up on someone, right? But you've got this thing. I mean, that's not a good example because you're going to be stealth. But imagine this fucking... so what my first interpretation was that Wanderlust was doing all 3 at once. And that's a sick combo. That's a really disgusting combo. You know, you got the slow ripping your quickness off. You've got weakness, so you're going to glance. You can't even walk in to line up a hit that easily because you've got chill. You've got your cooldowns getting slowed down because of chill. Wow. But what it's actually doing is casting them randomly. So chill first. Oh no, it's pretty quick. It's pulsing, actually, isn't it? I see, actually, it's the ritual field. It's the big green... I don't even know what we call this color. What is it? Teal? What is this color? The fear is awful, though. Why did he just get feared when I cast the 3? That was terrible. I don't want to fear them and then have them run out of my follow-up. I don't know where this fear is coming from. It must be one of the traits. No? Huh. Really like a moment's peace here. This is a bit annoying right now. Yeah, Anguish just feels like playing a Harbinger. It's really weird. It's like Harbinger with extra steps. What is this random fear coming from? Am I corrupting something? Are they giving themselves stab? I'm corrupting it? Somehow? I don't know how I would be. I don't have any corruption traits. Maybe in here somewhere. Right, so there you go. That's Wanderlust. I love Wanderlust in the original for its knock-lock. You know, I was talking about Falling Spider. Random arenas, Falling Spider, Wanderlust in RA. In those small PvP formats in the original, holy shit, Wanderlust was good. Just locking one of those players down and having it perma-knocked on the floor for a while. So good. Of course, Guild Wars 1 had all these other fun little mechanics. Like, every time Wanderlust strikes, it hurts itself. So now you have other bits of buildcraft trying to reduce that damage it does to itself so it can keep the knock-lock spamming. You know, Guild Wars 2 could have had some fun stuff with that, with, like, draining break bars. You know, if I was putting Wanderlust onto a Ritualist in Guild Wars 2, I might even think about it on the Elite slot and have it just be, like, sick, pulsing. The problem is... Renegade already has a spirit that's spamming mini daisies. Thank God that's on another class, right? Thank God. But you can really see where short-sighted thinking, in this case during POF, has cramped the style of this stuff. Okay, and now finally let's go with the 4. We have Preservation. Grant boons. So it has a pulse. It has a PV AoE. It's only 300 radius. Oh, there's a cool, like, sky effect as you summon Wanderlust in as well. I think this is going to be a bit Gale shotty, guys, in as much as you get a kind of a cool new kit, but the reality is you're just going to kind of hit all the buttons without too much thinking and then dip out. Can I just verify here? I think I might have missed it. The auto... Active spirits prioritize attacking. It doesn't like... It's not, to use like a League of Legends example, it's not... Oh, shit, what do they actually call it? It's not like an auto reset, is it? When I start autoing, it doesn't, like, refresh them, right? It's not like throwing a Warwick Q out, going auto Q auto kind of thing. To give a nice newbie. One of them is hitting quite hard, 5k. It's weird that on the tooltips I can't see... Oh, does he... No, Preservation does have a regular attack. I like the way they all sync up. That's interesting. They're missing a lot, though. What are they trying to hit? Target this. Can't wait to get to these utility skills so I can start spamming. That thing's invulnerable. Okay, so we got kind of a defensive one. It's a weird choice going with this, right? Because if they don't have an actual, like, boon support build path for this, like a line in the traits, I'm not sure. I mean, this is really just QOL for me. It's cleansing a lot of condies. So there's a big cleanse in there. It's a big heal as well, actually. Never mind. Ignore me. I like that. Let's have one more look in. Oh, yeah, and you get that kind of, like... did you see? I really like the animation there because it's actually, like, got the visual style like you see on Guardian a lot, like that light burst. It's quite subtle. Which usually signifies a big heal. Look at this, ready? You see that? Final shockwave of healing. Okay, and then finally, the last one is not... Oh, see, there's only 3 spirits. See, I don't know if I can get behind this. It's just... You took the 5 and the auto away. I want to make a nest. I want to make a nest of these things. Let's not get too screechy here. Okay. You and any active spirits shadow step to the target area within 900 range. Any spirits that aren't currently using a skill immediately use their auto. Oh, there you go. There is an auto reset. That's weird. There must be something knocking around in the very recesses of my brain that I had caught that on the stream, and that's why I was thinking about it there. So it's on the 5. Wait. So it's their auto attack they reset. It's not their full attack. It's not their on summon. So I'm going to summon a guy. He uses his burst. He's going to auto. And then I'm going to teleport him. And he did not auto again. Hey? Any spirits that aren't currently using a skill will immediately use their auto attack. Fuck, we ran out of... Do you know what? I'm gonna show you guys the big tech. Are you ready? I'm gonna show you how to... I'm gonna give you the meta for beta testing the Ritualist. Now, this is a really, really good bit of advice I'm gonna give you, because you can use it for the next hour and 6 minutes. All right, check this out. Here's the real tech, right? Shit, please tell me the trait hasn't been removed. Wait, it's been removed. I think somewhere I remember it's been removed. The signet trait doesn't exist anymore, does it? Didn't they kill the signet trait? I think they did. Oh, no, but I think when they killed the trait, they just made it baseline. What did they have me on? Oh, here it is. The signet trait is... I thought it was Spite. That's why I was mousing around so much on Spite. Okay, here's the tech, right? You run Signets of Suffering. No, you don't need Signets of Suffering. It doesn't matter. By the way, I love Chill of Death for open world. The tech is to put on Signet of Undeath. Oh, no. Oh, they did kill it. You used to be able to trait that so it would be there in Shroud, and it was really fun. It would extend your Shroud massively. All right, never mind that then. Oh, I wonder if they killed it. They killed it because of the Ritualist. Because there's that trait coming up where your shroud. No. I don't know. They didn't. I don't know. Ignore me. Anyway, moving on. I mean, we could just put it on to help us recharge a bit quicker, but. So I don't know about this 5, guys. I really don't. Also, it's instant, and it's a little TP for me. It feels floaty. Here we go. Let's summon all 3. Let's watch them all attack. And then let's teleport. I'm going to turn off auto attack on my Shroud autos here. They're so slow. Look at this. They're so petite. Okay, that time it worked. Maybe it's just fiddly? Yeah, something is fearing. We will figure that out when we're onto the traits. Right. So there you go. That's the Shroud. We've learned the Ritualist Shroud. Now, one other thing I want to check here is so the fantasy here is not just being a Ritualist, but it's another flavor of minion build, right? And it's tied to Necro. And again, I feel weird about this too because it's not a full class. So you're getting minions from the utilities and then spirits from the Shroud. What if I wanted, to fully dip into spirits? But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kill Spite, and I'm going to take blood magic. And what I'm especially interested in is vampiric presence. When I play a minion monster, you're sharing vampiric aura to your minions. That's where the fun is, right? You see 1 billion more numbers because of this. So you and your allies, nearby allies, siphon health with nearby attacks. Unholy Martyr has some minion synergy. Even the new transfusion, kind of, I guess. We could take Dagger. That's kind of on theme, I guess. I don't know. Dagger skills grant nearby allies taste for blood. And taste for blood means that they will siphon enemies. So what I want to see is that my Ritualist spirits are allies that will receive vampiric presence. Now, we have an issue here. Vampiric presence only has a maximum number of targets of 5. And so if I run all minions and spirits, vampiric spirit... I want to make them all vampiric. I want the entire zoo to be vampiric. And so it's sad to think that I won't be doing that. It's not cool anymore. So I'd love to see this be augmented, at the very least, for target cap, to say, and this would just be nice in general. Your minions get them, and 4 other player targets, right? That would be cool. But again, when I ask for things like this, it's like Arenanet are really leery about it, I guess, because of server infrastructure. But it's not unheard of to have 10 targets, right? Obviously, they're moving away from it, right? But classically, it's not been unheard of. And I think this would be really fun. I want to make them all vampires. So let's see just a tool for now. The spirits cannot be targeted or damaged, but are they at least allies that will receive this stuff? So let's summon some stuff. And let's turn on our outgoing damage. Outgoing player power. Oh no, pet power. Oh, but I put a whitelist on it. Ah, that's so annoying. I put a whitelist on it. This actually would have been a really good showcase for that. Alright, well, I don't know. Are they doing it? I guess the easiest way to test is to just summon one. I think he is. I see 218. That 872. Maybe? Yeah, I think it's doing it. Of course, we can't easily share at them our dagger things without the lingering trait. So, I don't know. This is cool, but knowing that... I mean, the thing is, this means we don't have to use minions. I don't know. Let's just try it. Let's just stick with blood for now. So back to Ritualist. Right, Death Shroud is replaced with Ritualist. Spirits created by Shroud skills will persist until we exit. After performing their initial attack, they do passive attacks. And we have weapon utility skills. Now, the weapon skills, it's a tag that has... some synergy, yeah, with traits, but no relic, obviously. Right now, we have improved it due to our Grandmaster. Affected allies receive the full benefit of weapon skills. So, resilient weapon. Take reduced damage from strikes and periodically heal. It's stronger when I'm low health. And I can grant this to allies for full duration, 6 seconds. I think this is amazing, guys. I mean, the damage reduction is only 10%. I felt like that was really strong when we saw it before. Oh, Kerry's bitching about playing BG3 with me. Okay, yeah, it's not my fault with the zombies in BG3. And I think they patched that. Didn't they patch that? People don't run and cower anymore. You need a friend to play longbow gale shot barrage with splinter weapon? Yeah, oh, dude, I will look at splinter weapon in just a second. Yeah, I kind of like this. Just throw out some damage reduction for people, 20%. From like a strike mission raid perspective, genuinely, I think this is cool as shit. I think it's really cool to just throw away some extra damage reduction for your subgroup if you're like on a DPS spec. Honestly, it's awesome. I would be very inclined to run this over any other utility. Let's see the animation, whether it has much of one. Oh, yeah. They're gyros, aren't they? Yeah, I don't know. GW1, it actually updates the weapon in your hand. And it's actually a bit of a complaint for, like, if you're a Guild Wars 1 veteran player these days, and the thing is, Rit's so overpowered in that game. You spend a lot of your time just looking at generic weapons because the Ritualist weapon skills overwrite your stuff. It's like, imagine if this gave me Pearl weapons. It reskinned my shit to Pearl stuff. And that's that. So maybe Arenanet looked at that and said, let's not. I don't know. I don't really like them as gyros, though. Or also troubadour instruments, I guess. I mean, it doesn't even look like a weapon, does it? It's just a ball. Couldn't we have it looking like a weapon? I mean, would that even be that hard, asset-wise? Take any of the thousands of skins that are in the game and apply a shader to them. Is it a bit on the nose to have weapons following the Rit around and instruments following the troubadour around? Anyway, not much to say. Moving on, Splinter Weapon, here we go. Your strikes will trigger an additional strike on nearby enemies, and allies receive fewer stacks of it. See, this is quite cool, actually. Doing the blood magic wielder's boon combo, it's like I'm sharing vampirism to the spirits, and I'm sharing the weapons to the spirits. So, we don't need a Gale Shot with us. We can just... But there's no way I can put it on the spirits. There's no way. Because it's opposed to the other Grandmaster. I mean, there is a way. It's just shitty. Does this summon all spirits? No, it doesn't. Right, so the game here is to go into Shroud, summon all three, leave Splinter Weapon. And I can see shit. I guess that did something. What does it do? Your strikes trigger additional strike on nearby. The radius is only 300. I think put it up to 450. Really, Arenanet? 450. That works so well on Hawk's Eye, on the Gale Shot. 450. A lot of this shit needs to go up. Hold on. Wait. The sharing is a radius of 300. The damage is only 180. It's just... Enemies aren't spaced out like that in most of the game. And obviously here I've only got one target, so I can't even really see it. Ah, God. Oh, Splinter Weapon is like the thing. I honestly, at this radius, I don't know how often I would ever run this skill. I really don't think I'd use this skill. So it gives you 5 stacks of Splinter Weapon. I hate that I'm doing this. But I have to. We have to see it on a golem pile, don't we? To even really get a sense of what it would look like, we have to look here. The Hall of Memories. Do you know what I think they should bring back as a lobby? Classic Heart of the Mists. Is the balance destroyed in here? No, it's not. Okay, so I'm going to build Shroud first here with some dagger autos. So good. All right. We're going to summon. Leave Splinter Weapon. Wait. My traits aren't correct. We need to go back to Lingering Spirits. I'm like, where are my spirits? They're gone. Oh god, PvP combat break. Come on. There we go. Lingering Spirits. This is like spamming Rise on Reaper when we were testing that on the golems. Always end up coming back here. So there they are. Are they receiving the weapons? I don't think they're actually receiving the weapons. So they'll receive my vampirism, but they won't receive this? Oh, no, they are. Ah, it's awful. What have they done to you, Splinter Weapon? What have they done? Ah, but mind you, it's PvP balance. But still, it's not about the number that I'm looking at. It's about, you know, this is not shattering and meaty, satisfying explosions of armor-ignoring damage that allows me to cheese hard mode. This is just like nothing. At least Hawkeye gave us something here. Let's have a look again. Is there an ICD? Not listed. If there is, it's even worse. I mean, it has a certain duration. List this, list this, list this. Right, ready? I'm just going to wait. Wait for all the clutter to go away, right? So here comes an auto attack. Right? I only see one number. Splinter Weapon. There, see, they're doing extra hits. Oh my... Gideon. Let me at least see my Splinter Weapon. Hold on, because I get it too. 5 stacks. We need a golem pile in PvE. Anyone got any thoughts? Anyone got any idea of a golem that's not going into the fractal lobby? I know that there is one in the fractal lobby, but I don't want to mess with all that. It's using your stacks, though, not the spirits. So it's just sad a one wolf pack. Yeah, I mean, it seems to be... Kerry, we haven't played factions yet. But trust me, babe, when we get there... And we will. She refuses to play it, but I'm going to get her to one day. You'll see the beauty. It's so good. They should make it duration, not stacks for splinter weapon. Yeah, alright, well, let's not linger on it. We do ultimately... Do we only have 50 minutes left? It's alright, we've got 50 minutes to look at 3 utility skills and the traits. We've got plenty of time. We don't have to rush. Nightmare weapon. Your strikes steal life from enemies and inflict vulnerability. Grant fewer stacks of this to nearby allies. God, you know, if these are not impactful, Wielder's Boon is not going to feel good either. So, sorry. Your strikes just splash some AoE. And here, we life siphon. Now, that's some big life siphon. This could feel really cool. This... Why did you give me a chipmunk voice, God? Why? So let's see. Ready? I'm going to get really low. Come on. Oh my god. Look at this. Look at this gameplay right here. Even the personal story ain't this bad. Come on. Come on. Use another ability. See, we went from Heart of Thorns launch balance to this. What's quite funny, right, is enemies in modern expands are actually a lot tankier to account for the power creep. Look, metrics show... Oh, here we go. Right. Go. Oh, I like it. I like the Nightmare weapon. Kind of. Cooldown feels a bit long. And the thing is, Necro has no shortage of skills that do exactly this sort of thing. Like, to be honest, Signet of the Locust is exactly the same thing. Should we use it with Blood Bank? Signet of the Locust feels incredible in AoE scenarios. So Blood Bank is when we heal, if we're at 100% health, we get it as barrier. So you can basically overheal. Blood Bank is one of my favorite ideas of a trait in the game. It doesn't necessarily have that much application. See all that barrier we had there? Obviously that's not entirely just Nightmare Weapon. It's a weird slot. It's a weird idea because, like, what are we saying here? Cool, this shroud is really easy to understand and get my head around. A support ritualist that's sharing Nightmare Weapon to heal people up. Talking about one wolf pack, there you've got it much more explicitly, right? Because that's lifesteal too. I like the numbers on it. I don't know though. Next. Jeez, by the way. Oh yeah, okay. The Grandmaster only shares an additional 2 stacks, right? It's 3 by default, and you go up to 5. So it's not even like it's doubling the potency. It's just adding +2. Anyway, Weapon of Warding. Block attacks. Is it a long channel? Oh, by the way, what's the animation? Let's have a look. Can I have multiple weapons at once? Yeah, they're just orbs. Are they all the same? No, they're different. This one has like spikes pulsing around it. The other one didn't. Let's see this one. Oh my god, there's no... My character doesn't do it. Are they all instant activation? Half a second. No, they're all half a second. I wave my hand, basically. You know, it's funny. These orbs are distinct in appearance. That one has swirly extras. This one's spiky. One of them looked a bit hollow. But you really have to squint. No one's ever going to see that. Bigger! I mean, am I crazy for wanting them to go bigger? Arenanet, you added this setting, right? Not the... let me scroll down. Right? You added hide visual effects. Show only squads, show party, hide all. It's in there now. So fuck it. Go balls to the wall. Do you think Square Enix are doing these ticky-tacky tiny little animations No, they're giving you huge, explosive, like mind-blowingly big VFX, knowing that it looks cool when they showcase it. You know, like go big, go big. It doesn't matter anymore. Cat's out of the bag. Your Zergs don't look good anyway. Let's have fun. But even if these were bigger, they're not weapons, are they? Anyway, so it's not a channel. So this is Aegis. This is like a 3-stack Aegis, which actually I kind of love. I've always liked the idea of a Guardian trait that makes Aegis stack intensity. Don't you guys think that would be sick? I think it's more suited to a minor than a major. You know, on one of the lines. Not virtues. Maybe honor. All right, here we go. So I'm blocking. Block. Block. And then it wore out. Great. But sharing that seems really fun. There's a lot in here that makes me want... So when I initially summon, if I summon Anguish while he's in stealth, do I just get screwed out of the initial attack? There's a lot in here that feels like support Rit should be a thing, could be a thing. And I think that's fair, especially as an echo of Guild Wars 1. But the problem is, like, we get into that conversation of niches again. Like, okay, hold on. So, Scourge exists. So, what do we say the distinction is? One is more barrier support. One is more preventative, like, Aegis support? I don't know. Anyway, I like the idea of Weapon of Warding. For my purposes, I don't know how much I'm really going to play it, though. And obviously sharing blocks to the spirits doesn't mean shit. Okay, the final utility is Weapon of Remedy. Oh, by the way, this is a stun break. 30-second cooldown. Oof, I don't know, guys. Weapon of Remedy. Periodically remove condies. So this is just going to rip condies off of me while it's going on. And I heal for each one. So it's basically Spectral Walk, but instead of Life Force, I get healing straight up. And without the TP and stuff. I mean, no. So like, this has so many more cool components to it. And a more interesting animation, frankly.
Little bit of trivia. This used to be Death Shroud 5.
During the conventions? Yeah, let's... I mean, someone's going to tell me that if my post-processing is set up the right way, there's going to be a little weapon icon in there somewhere. Yeah, I'm not going to be using this. I mean, in any format. I literally think this skill will never see use. I'm actually going to go out on a limb, guys, and I'm going to say that will never be used anywhere in the game, and I'm usually not so big or dogmatic with my predictions on that. I'm nearly everything I say, I'm like trying to put asterisks and caveats. Why? Because this is doing the exact fucking same thing almost as Spectral Walk. But Spectral Walk has so much else going for it. It's just, they're even the same cooldown. It's a stun break. It has swiftness. It has the utility of TPing back to a location, which is incredibly powerful. I mean, maybe there's a really heavy Condi world where you use both, but I don't really see that in competitive, and I don't see it in PvE. Maybe if you're playing support Rit in raids, people will dump it on. But even there, it's like competing with Well of Power, which is another AoE cleanse mechanism, on the same cooldown, and is a stun break. I don't know about this, Arenanet. I don't know. Okay, finally, the elite. It's time to wow me. Ready? The big animation. I think those swirlies should be like worm ghosts. Visuals are lacking with a lot of these new specs. Oh, absolutely. I mean, look, I'm going to do an overview tomorrow. We're going to end the mini-series with your comments, guys. Drop your comments. We're going to do a big, fat Q&A, and I'm going to do an overview, and that's going to be my #1 feedback to that. All right, what do we do? Xinrei's weapon. Xinrei's weapon's amazing. When you take damage over a percentage of your maximum health, Heal for the difference. Then steal life from the foe that did it. Grant fewer stacks to nearby allies. And break them out of suns. Now this one's pretty cool. Again, it's very supporty. The thing is, you're giving me all these weapons that do nothing for my spirits. So... if I get hit for more than 5% health in a single hit... anything over that 5%, I heal. But do I take the... okay, look, I have to ask chat. Sorry, I'm looking at chat for real right now. If I press this and I get one shot, what happens? Right, so we're fighting Deimos. I did Wing 4 just before going live here. I'm doing Deimos. He's mind-crushing. We're not in Saul's protective bubble in the center. Uh-oh, what's going to happen? We don't have Aegis. We don't have Rebound. We don't have Shitbound. We don't have a Troubadour Distort. But check it out. I've got Zinray's weapon. I press that. What happened? You die. If it negated the death, thus being that tool, you know, like we have this idea, we've got this new tool coming into the game, then I'm all about it. But if it doesn't do that, I mean, I just can't think of any application for it if it doesn't do that. I don't know when I would use this. Random open world PvE and personal story. It's not that common that you've got a big obvious one-shot coming at you. Like an actual one-shot. And the thing is, we're in Necro, guys, right? Necro is some big vitality. I mean, really, it's just not happening. So, or even just any big chunk of damage. The thing is, right, okay, if they're going to do a big chunk, I go to full health, right? Also, it's life... no, you don't... okay, if it reflectively stole that life from the enemy, so they hit me for 12k, right? So I just steal 8k, right? If I fucking steal 8k, then we're talking. I would be really excited and interested. This would be like a kind of full counter, but I did a 40k full counter this morning, by the way, in that Wing 4. No, that was it was in a Dragon Storm I did that. Anyway, but on a 75-second cooldown, it's a stun break, and I get stab for 2 seconds. I share stab for 2 seconds. It's an AoE stun break for... this is weird. I don't know. I can't imagine it. Are you looking to one-shot demos for that? Okay, fair enough. Yeah, there should probably be a cap. Good point. That's probably not a good way to design it. There would need to be a cap there. But let's imagine we put that on 5 players. Then that's 10,000 damage on your elite, which is not impressive. That's life siphon, right? 10k damage is not impressive. You can't crit with that. I don't even know if conventional modifiers work with that. You know, a fully modified, super turbocharged Zinray's weapon that hit all 5 of my allies, you're maybe getting 20k, a 20k hit. But you have to use it. Okay, this would probably feel really fun to use. I would put this in like a different space. I would put this around 30-second cooldown. At a 30-second cooldown, while in raids and strikes, I would like this. Because, yeah, it would reward a bit of knowledge about these big hits coming in. Oh, also, hold on, though. I'm not thinking about the fact that it has stacks. How long's the duration? I think that needs a low cooldown and a long duration. A longer duration. And then I think, oh, but then you're not using reactively. I don't know. The thing about the stacks is weird. I get 2 stacks, they get 1. If I trait, they get 2. Like, how often is it you've got big hit, you know? I think this could feel fun. Ignore me with the whole distort share and all that shit. Maybe this isn't about one-shots. But, by the way, I'm sorry that this is me just staring at a tooltip. It's really hard to model. I probably can. I'll cast it in front of this spirit and see what we've got. It's not that uncommon to take over 5% in one hit. To be fair, it doesn't take that much to proc it. I can think of lots of enemies that will do that. I mean, Christ, let's leave the graveyard now. Let's leave the graveyard. Let's go to the Temple of Cormyr. These Hydra will proc this constantly. You know, all I have to do is hit one of these meteors. I don't like how it's a stun break, though. Well, no. It's like here I'm going to cast it before the meteor, and then the meteor's going to knock me down. Oh, I don't want to dodge. Oh, also, do I have to be point blank range? Oh. Shit, that's Weapon of Remedy. Look, guys, we're back where we started. Look. From the Luminary, Warrior of Light, to the Ritualist, Communer of Darkness. Oh my fuck, I just forgot there's 3 buttons I haven't even looked at. Holy shit, I completely forgot about the destruction mechanic. Oh, that's a bit scary. How long have we got? Oh god, we got half an hour to look at that. Ah, that's fine. Yeah, I don't know. Not impressed with these weapon skills. It's weird, when I watched the stream, I was really impressed with them. Now, I'm not at all. Here's what I would run for weapons. Just for the fun of it right now, like we were on Gale Shot, I'll put the Weapon of Warding on. Weapon of Warding is the coolest weapon, I think. The Triple Aegis shared out thing is cool. I'm not going to use that. Let's get some minions in. I'm not going to use Resilient Weapon. I'm not going to use... Okay, hold on. Let's see Splinter Weapon with just conventional minions. So we got one... I'm a target. The Golem's a target. The Heal's a target. These 2 are a target. So there you go. We got our 5 targets already. Oh, shit. The minions are over there. Right. Go. Oh, but it's only... it will only see it in AoE scenarios. Making all my minions block is really cool. Oh, I love that. Look at all the blocks. That's cool. Not that I worry about minion counter pressure too much here. That's very cool. Okay, I like this setup here. All right. Oh, no. I just spilled coffee everywhere. Oh, no. All over the mouse. Oh, we're on a time limit. No. It's okay. That's why I always have bounty roll. Oh, shit. Why? Why must I be so clumsy? Oh my god. Why hadn't I finished drinking? We've done too much talking. Oh, God. Oh. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Yeah, it's a bit scary getting coffee on my my mouse because it's a G600 and they don't sell them anymore. They don't sell them. But what I do have at least, right? So I think there's some... I have a friend. I haven't spoken to him for a bit. He's gone to med school. But who fixed his own G600 a little while ago. And there are tutorials on YouTube and stuff on how to do it. So I have a spare one, my old one, in a drawer. And if this one ever goes kaput, I'm going to have two mice that I can attempt repairs on. One of them can be a bit of a guinea pig. Yeah, okay. All right, we're all dried now. Sorry about that. Oh my god, guys. Okay. Right, okay. So spirits, we got Rupture Anguish, Rupture Wanderlust, and Rupture Preservation. If I hit F2, it will destroy my Spirit of Anguish, damaging nearby enemies and granting might to allies. And this is being automatically done when the spirit expires anyway. This is where the fear is coming from. It's Rupture Wanderlust.
Please meet me at Mori Village
Inflict fear on nearby enemies. This skill activates automatically when the spirit expires. Destroy my spirit of preservation, granting defensive boons to nearby allies. Okay, this kind of feels like Mesmer in a way. F3 for a CC, F4 for some stab and good boons. There's so much stuff. I don't know about these ruptures. Is this their attempt to do, like, explosive growth? The thing is, it's the reverse of explosive growth. There's a big hit on Rupture Anguish. So that's why we've been randomly fearing them. I don't really know how I view these fitting in. Oh, they're very quick, very responsive. Why would I want to detonate them early? If it's going to do the effect anyway when they expire. At full potency. Oh, my mouse is actually being a bit weird, but I'll tell you why. It's because the mouse mat is still just a little bit damp. So hold on. I'm not sure. Chat, help me out here. Who's played Ritualist? What did you make of the ruptures? I don't know. The thing is, do they rupture when I leave Shroud as well? Let's head over here to this deer. If I just, if I summon Wanderlust and leave Shroud... Oh, what? Sorry, that wasn't Wanderlust. That was Preservation, but still. Okay, we're back on Lingering Spirits. That's not what I want to do. Okay. I'm going to come here. I'm going to summon Preservation. Let him do his thing. Now I'm just going to leave. I get it all. Why manually rupture? Maybe there's a trait that will explain that. Because at the end of the day... Waffle says, honestly, it feels like there's no point in preserving the spirits. It feels more worthwhile to spam them all, immediately leave, and get the ruptures. Yeah, it kind of really hurts this Grandmaster, doesn't it? Lingering spirits, in a way. I don't know what we're going to see with the traits here, but I really want traits. I think that a good way that Arenanet could have got more spirits onto this is by having a GM that swaps some spirits to others. You know, like, when I take the strike damage GM, maybe we have 3 offensive spirits. If I take, like, a QOL GM, maybe I've got, you know, 3 different ones. There were so many spirits to pick from the original game, and to get just 3, you know? Like, let's modify the Shroud a lot. Maybe it's just a complete pain in the ass to do stuff like that. It's funny, I gave the Harbinger Shroud as an example on Scourge the other day, and then it was only last night I was reflecting on that, and I thought, hold on, people might not know what I'm talking about anymore, because when I say Harbinger Shroud, you probably think of the Elite Spec Harbinger, which has a Harbinger Shroud. But, you know, it's easy to forget, isn't it, that Scourge had Harbinger Shroud for years. It's been renamed now. I can't remember what they renamed it to. Yeah, I don't know, guys. Lingering Spirits, like... why hit any of these F skills? And why run Lingering Spirits? But let's see. Okay, so we have already been looking at Wielder's Boon. We know that fully. We've actually already been looking at Lingering Spirits as well. So they pointed out on the stream, right, that with Lingering Spirits, let's just show it off here. See, I don't like that I need a target to even summon them. So, there was a bug with this at the start of the beta where these were just sitting around in World vs. World and it was like a graveyard forever. I don't know why they're attacking when there's nothing to attack. Are they trying to hit the spider? That's a bit weird. But they basically explained. So I'm constantly losing life force right now. Okay, I know what's... we're in combat with... Oh, they do eventually explode. Eventually they do pop. Base, lingering duration. Okay, so I'm going to turn off Eternal Life. Eternal Life is constantly giving us Shroud out of combat. So what Eternal Life was doing was countering the drain. See, so with no Eternal Life, this should just be... I should just lose my life force all the way here. It's going down very slowly. Also, I believe you get life force when they die, which means it's always fairly abundant. I mean, maybe that's the idea. Oh, that's probably the idea. If you're running Lingering Spirits, I can rupture one of these to get life force straight away. See, but eventually, this is going to run out. I'm going to just try it, by the way. Oh, no, that did not work. Okay, they expired before I went to 0, but I'm pretty sure that's the idea. So, yeah, Eternal Life is a cool combo. I love Doomfire too, by the way, and I would love to see if there's a cool Doomfire setup for this. Didn't we see they changed something else as well? So there you go, that's 2 of the GMs. The third and final Grandmaster is Soul Twisting. The first spirit skill you use when entering Shroud recharges instantly. You know what? Soul Twisting is one of the crazy strong builds for like hero comps. I honestly think Soul Twisting looks like the best GM by like a long way for me right now. I honestly thought I was going to be playing Lingering Spirits. I thought I was going to be going full minion concept. Why do I say Soul Twisting? Because Anguish just feels so strong. It feels like you go in, you anguish again, you leave and you rupture. Which kind of turns this into... Oh, like any other Shroud, really. Go in, hit some high pressure skills, dip out. It's just instead of doing the Hadouken myself, my spirit does it. This just feels good, right? Oh, okay, so I think I understand the ruptures a little bit as well. Okay, so here's another question. When I replace an already existing spirit by summoning it a second time, does the rupture happen? That's my question. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into Ritualist Shroud. I'm going to use Preservation. And then I'm going to use Preservation again. And what I would like to see is when I cast that second Preservation, I would like to see Aegis Resist and Stability come on, because casting the second Preservation has overlapped the old one, thus rupturing it. That's what I'd like to see. Let's see if it does that. So there's one. There's another. It does rupture it. Okay, so for like QOL, that's amazing. And fuck me. Did you see our barrier? Did you just see that from the blood bank and the Preservation healing? Wow, that was strong enough. And those boons are strong enough that I feel like that's quite cool. The blood bank double Preservation. I feel like from a QOL standpoint, that's really good. But from a what the hell is the point of the F skills standpoint, look at our barrier! And then when it leaves... Oh, I don't have a target, though. When it leaves, I can Preservation again. Dude, that's really strong! Oh, do I need to stand near it? No, there it is. Oh, no, wait. That might have been Life Siphon. Wow. Yeah, Soul Twisting looks like the winner. But don't count out Lingering Spirits just yet, because there is another trait for us to look at. By the way, the minors were Life Force whenever I summon a creature. Boon of Creation. Look, this is just... The references are everywhere. Ruptured Souls is there. Gain access to Rupture skills, allowing... Oh, that's interesting. They utilized one of the other minors to explain the other big mechanic. I like that. That's very cool, Arenanet. You don't do that often. F skills are only useful when you're on lingering spirits. You can't double rupture, it has a cooldown. Oh, really? Was I not seeing that correctly? Oh yeah, 10-second cooldown. So I'd have to pace it, right? I'd have to preservation. Oh, and if it has a 10-second cooldown, soul twisting doesn't really help that much. So now when I leave now, it might do it again? No. It's weird, sometimes they just despawn. That's a good point about the cooldowns. There's 10 seconds for all of them. I mean, preservation is definitely the best rupture. Oh no, I'm getting confused. Sorry guys, forgive me. Okay, it's on activation, I'm getting the barrier. The rupture is just the boost. Alright, I have to say, this is a really nice brain off, easy breezy kind of play style. If Rupture Preservation was a stun break, I could see a huge amount of utility in it. Probably way too much. If Rupture Preservation was a stun break. Right. So let's have a look now at the other lines. We've been this entire time we've on Spirit Strength. Spirits deal more damage and they heal more. Their healing is okay. So like the healing we're looking at from Preservation there. Demonic Soul with the $5. Thank you very much. Love your stuff, WP. Quick and easy. Yeah, if you guys ever donate, drop me a question so I can give you something back. And then Explosive Growth. Whenever... Oh, here's Explosive Growth. Whenever you summon a creature, deal damage to enemies around that creature. Spirits and minions are creatures. Oh, look, it's like the Phantasm versus Illusion versus Clone thing. I like that. Spirits and minions are creatures. See, in a more robust world, we would have tags for all this. Creature, minion, creature, spirit, you know. Give me a relic for creatures. Pets probably are creatures, you know, when it comes to other classes. 600, that's not too bad. If it can crit, and it says it can crit. On 5 targets. I hadn't even noticed that doing anything. Quickly over to this tiger now. Yeah, I see it there. Yeah, I saw a crit for 1,400, I think. You know, as much as I like the ritual circle thing, because the spirits kind of get summoned together, it does look a bit muddy, doesn't it? Okay, so the bottom line generally is big spirit stuff. What have we got here? We could take Explosive Growth or Wandering Spirits. Spirits TP to us before they perform their attack. Okay, so here's the last lingering spirit thing. You really kind of can't... For open world PvE, you sort of need Wandering Spirits for lingering spirits to feel fun. So I go in, I summon them, I leave, I have eternal life. Here's the question, right? So... Oh, that's why they're spamming autos. Alright, and then they all just blew up and ruptured. I think that eventual timeout is important because they don't want to go back to turret NG stuff. So this is the minion spec here. We don't get to have Explosive Growth, but that's fine because we don't resummon that much. So there's actually that kind of works. Does it respect mounting? Let's see. It doesn't respect mounting. That kills it. Oh, that's brutal. That is brutal. Like, when you have minions... When I get off my mount, my minions pop back. It does not pop back the spirits. So that's a bit unfortunate. Now, my first thought is this is really weak. Very slow. They're not doing much. But I have to emphasize, this is more about, like, the funsies. And I'm actually fine with that. Not to mention, I'm totally free to use all my weapon skills here. Right, so, you know... So then they all die, and we go for it again. So you are still going to go into Shroud every now and then. Look at the barrier! Oh my god. You know, if I'm going to sit here and judge and bitch and piss and moan that they're not doing enough, I may as well judge and bitch and piss and moan that these minions aren't doing enough. You know, the point is that they're, you know, they never look that good to just sit there and stare at that. So I think it's alright. I'm happy that this playstyle is here. I'm happy that it changes Rit a lot. If I were sitting down to play a new expansion, I would have some fun with this, certainly. And finally, Spirit's Gift. The references galore. Heal and remove conditions from allies when you summon a creature. Oh my god! Okay, it's got to be Spirit's Gift. Spirit's Gift is just fucking awesome. Dude, the fucking resustain you have on this spec. It's so, like, the barrier is one thing, but you have to imagine if they were hitting me. I cannot believe that. That's such a strong minder. It's got cleanse on it too. Oh, desire to try it in competitive Rising. Okay, 2 traits to go, guys. 2 traits. 50%. I don't like this. This is too strong, actually, because what this effectively means. 50%? Like, that's too big. That's too hard to swap off. What this effectively means is, without this trait, they hit like wet noodles and they heal like wet pool rings. I don't know. What else do you use in a pool? Mind you, when I say wet noodle, I always think about like those pool noodles. Do you guys know what I mean? Like those giant foamy things. I guess that's not actually a wet noodle, but that's always what goes through my mind. Yeah, I don't know. So there best be some cracked shit here that I want to run. Empowering spirits. Grant boons to nearby allies when you summon a spirit. Oh, well, it is cracked. Quickness. Quite a low value. It's like Evoker, actually. It's very low. I think I'd need very diligent resummoning to keep the quickness going on that. Oh, this feels nice. Oh, I just want to run around and play this. Obviously, soul twisting helps with this. I see. It's at 50% because they know. Dude, think about this as well, right? I love Arcane Shield on my Ellie for like if the gauntlet was still up, right? I use Arcane Shield to just, you know, so you can keep chunking through attacks. Arcane Shield is excellent. This is Arcane Shield. This is actually a stronger Arcane Shield because it will block 5 things instead of 3. And it's AoE. It's a stun break just the same. I really like Weapon of Warding. Let's cleanse that bleed so we break combat quickly. Right. Oh, for fuck's sake. I've got to get out of combat. Right. So there's quickness, and yeah, soul twisting plus the quickness would be really nice. And the last thing is Wielder's Remedy. Weapon skills remove conditions from affected allies. 2 from self, 1 from an ally, but if I go Wielder's Boon as well, it's 2 and 2. Lots of cleanse. This is what I meant, right? Like, you only need so much in PvE. And then a lot of those elements of the toolkit kind of start becoming not too relevant to me. Guys, I think it's pretty fucking definitive that this is the way to play. Heal and remove condies anytime you summon a creature. Spam quickness and other boons, including resolution. And double cast your spirits. Blood bank for funsies, but you don't really need it. I mean... So I'm hoping here now we can keep the quickness up a bit easier. We do have to be very aggressive about our shroud timings. The minions don't really matter. No, it drops. I'll need concentration. I'll need concentration. And also needing a target means I can't. Unless there's something I'm missing that can reduce it more.
Brotherhood's moving something to their lab in Fort Aspenwood. Probably a good idea.
Okay, here's what I think. I think it doesn't feel like Guild Wars 1 RIP, but the flavor is there. And it's nice, simple, entertaining. I don't think the visuals are quite out. I mean, they're better. The color's not that bad. I really thought the color was not as good as this, but it's not that bad, is it, really? Plenty of big hits, plenty of boons. I'm not above putting a little bit of concentration on, or the odd sigil here or there. Do we have a soft do we have any kind of CC on any of these? No. Well, there's fear. So that would be a very easy savagery. Not savagery. Good opening burst there. I don't like dagger here. I keep self-bleeding myself and thus keeping myself in combat. The running around with the spirits is a thing. I don't think I'd end up playing it that much. I think it's got a lot of juicy combos with the rest of Necro, naturally, because it's Shroud and Life Force, and you've got so many interactions there. Whether it sees play in raids is more of a question of benchmarking, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. There you go. Those are my thoughts. Okay, chat, what do you think about the Ritualist? WP, only the first spirit needs a target. Oh, you're right. Oh, let's see. Is it because I have instant... Yeah. Okay, these guys are ground target. Oh, and we get to see their animation a bit better. Oh, and this one's on me. I see. He needs a target. He's ground targeted. He's on me. I love this, like, coalescing as it comes together there. It looks cool. I'm not sure I really like the 5. I feel like part and parcel of Ritualist is picking the area you summon them. And yes, later Guild Wars 1 ended up relaxing that with a PvE only skill, right? SOS. And obviously it was a staple of the gameplay. But, like, I don't know. I think it sort of took something away from it. Like, I agree with it being here, but opt in. You know, I would opt into it with a utility. Or I would opt into it with a Grandmaster, with just any old trait. Having it baseline, I feel like was a mistake. I think the baseline experience, it should be static. I feel like that's... your mileage may vary on that. Here we go. Here's a tough mob. Let's break the bar. Let's throw up some blocks. And the other weapon. That's so funny. I just entered Shroud, right? And my entire thing there was I was going to go 2-5-3. Because I was going to break the break bar. with Harbinger 5. That's how much this feels like Harbinger. With this 2. This rapid fire 2. Honestly, I hit that 5 expecting to break his break bar. Well, I don't actually think I fully ended up hitting it, but... Guys, we are so sturdy. We have all this distraction, havoc, where enemies take targets on other things. We've got crazy resustain. Yeah, if this is again one of those things, if I spent like the whole beta on this, I would try a bunch of configurations of this. It's a really good thing that Anguish hits as hard as it does. Wasn't it a Kurzik Luxon skill? Yeah, exactly. Summon Spirits is a Kurzik Luxon skill, which is a PvE skill. It's one of your 3 slots. Yeah, and those... Sorry, oh, I see what people are trying to say, because it's factions. Yeah, those skills were not there at launch. They weren't there at launch. But anyway, even that's not necessarily my argument either. But being a PvE skill meant you weren't using it in competitive. Here we are fighting a champ. I feel honestly fine against this champion. My weapons suck. I have really low impact weapons. Why can I rupture Anguish even out of Shroud? I don't think he's going to be able to do anything to me. It feels a bit like CA as well, actually, in a way. We killed my bone minions. This is hilarious. So yeah, we leave Shroud, we fear. I just have no damage. I have no damage. Because a lot of other complementary traits are not set up well. That's so funny. You just enter Shroud and you're just permanently barriers to the juice to the gills with barrier. And I mean, the dagger autos are doing a lot for us there as well. Our stun break wasn't quite up there. God, we're not going to kill him at any time at all. It's going to take forever to kill him. But I mean, we ain't dying. What did they put me on for equipment? Oh, weird. We're on Marauder. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Oh, we don't even have stats applied to a bunch of the weapons. That also explains the low pressure. You thought my Asura was a mini? It's so small. I'm going to stop using Weapon of Warding preemptively. I'm going to start using it as a stun break. Ow. Okay, so we got dazed that time on Anguish, so we've ended up double casting a different thing. Now the 5 I can't quite get a feel of. Is it worth tapping that 5, I wonder? Weapon, this feels shit. Splinter Weapon feels shit. Oh, such a... Oh, I said that, and then I just spammed the skill anyway. Such a rich heritage. Lost to time. I'm almost healing the champion, yeah. Well, okay. Point has been made. Let's swap here. I'm disappointed there's not a trait that says the spirits apply condies, right? Like a ghost fire trait or something, like Doomfire, but now they do. Or like if Doomfire meant that spirit autos. I mean, does it mean that? That would be so. It's all right. We saw it. I seriously doubt Doomfire would have meant that the spirits apply burning on their autos. I seriously doubt their autos count as Shroud 1. If they did, that would be pretty cool. Especially if it augmented the visuals of the projectile. WP, should Rick get a new spirit and move the 5 to F5? I think that's an idea for sure. Listen, that's really good feedback. Any thoughts you guys have, okay? Let's see them now. There we go. That's the end of the mini-series. Your beta character is currently unavailable because there are no Guild Wars 2 expansion beta events in progress. Please check our website for more details about beta events at https://www.guildwars2.com, all one word, all lowercase, /en/ open parentheses, code equals 9:5:1:358:101 close parentheses. Oh, that last bit is not the URL. Obviously. Do you guys remember, like, in the early 2000s, people would do that? Like, anytime there was a URL, they read every tiny little bit. You know, half that shit is not relevant. I'm sure some of you guys don't remember the early 2000s because you were, like, 1 year old or some shit. But, you know. I read something the other day. It's topical since we're moving into September. It was something like... The adults at university now were all born after the September 11th attacks. They have no memory of it. Not because they were too young, but because they weren't even alive yet. It's pretty wild, right? So, So yeah, there's the beta. I want to compile my thoughts on all of these. I want to reflect. What I'm going to do, guys, tomorrow, be there or be square, is one final episode. In the final episode, I'm going to do a nice big chunky Q&A section where I want to hear your takes on any spec at all. I'm going to gather comments from the past 2 episodes, plus this one, about the Evoker, the Ritualist, and whatever the hell it was we played yesterday. The Gale Shot. You know, we'll do a big Q&A, and then I'm going to spin up a mini video section that I'll promote to a full video, where I just sort of give my overview. You know, where I think they were strong this year, where I think they were weak this year, how I think it compares to Spears last year. Spoiler, Spears were much better. You know, just general stuff like that. We'll just round out our impressions of the beta, and we'll call that done. And then basically, guys, we're looking at the other juicy things about VOE. We're looking at how they're going to merge raids and strikes, what they're going to do to LFG, what they're going to do with the skimmer. You know, maybe they'll give... I don't know what sort of details they'll give. They've got another 8 weeks. My personal selfish hope is that the news quietens down a little bit, so that in those 8 weeks we can beat Oblivion. We can finish our Oblivion Let's Play. And my tentative plan for the rest of the year is we're going to go Oblivion, Visions of Eternity, Heaven's Ward, and Stormblood. And then probably around December, we'll look at PoE again. Probably. Something like that. So just like last year, we'll have another like half a year of streaming or something. And then I'll get back to Let's Plays, offline Let's Plays after that. I've really failed at those this year. Like, super failed. Which disappoints me. But Zeus was very depressing in a lot of ways. Like, to actively lose thousands of subs because I made a Let's Play is really disheartening. So these other projects I'm doing now, I'm like, ugh. If it gets too many episodes, it's going to happen again. If the episodes are too long, it's going to happen again. But it's like, I just want to play things that I'm passionate about and stuff. And the other thing is, what my big motivation for the offline LPs is because it's so nice to get comments on them. Fucking nobody comments on Zeus. Nobody gives a shit about Zeus. Which, you know, maybe I should have expected. It's an old game. But whatever. Anyway, look. So there you go. VOE beta. Join me next time for the roundup. Thanks very much, guys. You've all been very generous today. Oh, a tier list? Maybe. Maybe. I might do a tier list. The thing is, I don't think the tier list will change at all. I think Troubadour goes up a notch. That's about it. I don't know. Just do a montage. You say just do a montage, but what you're asking me to do is to scrub through about 20 hours of footage. I can't just do a montage. I don't have clips. I don't have markers. I can't just sit and do a 20-hour shift scrubbing through footage, trying to find moments. I wouldn't even know what moments to pick. So no, I'm not doing that. A tier list with Boots? Maybe. I haven't spoken to him about his experience. Someone had left a comment for a really cool idea of something I want to do with Boots, and I've been talking to him about it. Someone said, okay, when I was covering like the secrets of the obscure weapons, I got a comment like 3 days ago. Someone left a comment saying, hey WP, just so that you know, I think it would be incredibly entertaining to watch a video or a series of Boots teaching you Magic the Gathering. Because I don't know how to play that game, but I've always kind of wanted to learn. And I read that comment and I thought, that would be fun. So I messaged Boots, and we might do something with that. Could be cool. You really like the Let's Play? Yeah, thank you. Like, I'm not trying to farm sympathy or comments or whatever. You know, it is what it is. It was what it was. Basically, there was a year where people saw, oh, he's not doing Guild Wars. I remember I saw a Reddit comment from someone saying, when everyone was moving to Blue Sky, I saw a Reddit comment from someone who was fairly active in my community for like years. But on Reddit, they like listed a bunch of Guild Wars 2 creators on Blue Sky, and they didn't list me. And someone said, yeah, what about WP? Obviously, he plays a lot of Guild Wars 2. In fact, all of his tweets are about Guild Wars 2. And they responded saying, oh, I thought he quit because he was playing Zeus. And I was like, what? Like, this is so... it blew my mind. Anyway, that's how this is, you know? Like, if you stop for a little while... I mean, maybe a year isn't a little while, but I was still... The thing is, I didn't stop. Every time there was content, every time they've ever put content in, I've made videos. What I haven't done is make endless gibberish podcasts and repeated cycles of the same topic over and over and over and over again. If we run out of things to say, we run out of things to say. We move on to other things. That's what it is, you know? And Guild Wars is the priority, always has been. Anyway, I don't want to get too rambly. I quite like the Ritualist, honestly. Very easy playstyle. I have to say, just... Gale Shot is the winner of this batch for me, I feel. That's not too surprising of a take. Unironic tribalism is common. Yeah, I mean, you're right. It definitely is. I mean, it is human nature to be a bit tribal or whatever, but, you know. Anyway. You tried to watch all... Yeah, look, I get it. Look. I'm fine. Honestly, it's not a game for everyone. It's not a series for everyone. It's a long game. It's an old game. It's got a shitty old art style. It's filled with technical details. It's not everyone's cup of tea. I get it. I wish I didn't lose subs during it, but I get it. You know, I'm not begging anyone to watch the fucking series. And it's over now anyway. All I was saying is when it comes to doing other LPs, I'm now a little bit leery, especially if they're old games, which unfortunately is a lot of what I want to play. Like, I'd love to do like a Theme Hospital LP. You know, like we did a City Builder. Theme Hospital's so fucking fun too. Similar sort of genre. I would love to do Theme Hospital. Not 2 Point Hospital, the new remake. The original Theme Hospital. How fun would that be? Oh, and we could get in, and we would do the same thing. Like, we'd start it very inexpert. And we'd slowly start showing off tricks, getting the walkers to do the right thing, tricking the mayor. Oh, there would be... Oh, come on, man. I fucking want to play that game. But now I'm nervous, because I'm like, a Theme Hospital LP would be a lot like a Zeus LP. A lot. So it's like back burner. It's easier to just stream and, you know, cover the beta. Planet Zoo. Oh, but I suck at Planet Zoo. Planet Zoo's really complex, and my feeble little brain can't figure it out. Planet Zoo... is like learning Photoshop, right? It's like software with a million menus. I really do think, right? It's like, okay, it's not dissimilar to picking up anything from the Adobe suite, right? Premiere, After Effects. It just happens to be that you're building a zoo. Like, that's how complex those games are to me.
Get to it before every creature in the grasslands turns to gravel.
A one-off on those things would be more viewer-friendly. Yeah, I know, but I don't want to do a one-off. That's always my fucking issue. I have no passion for things that are viewer-friendly. That's why I'm just not cut out for this job. I mean, it really is, and I've learned that about myself. For years, I was like, oh, I can get big by, you know, covering loads of games and doing all the deals on Steam and stuff. And I realized that's just not who I am. I'm not passionate about that. That's not, you know, I don't do that. You remember Boots doing a tabletop simulator stream? Yeah. Yeah. I played that. The friend I just mentioned who repaired his G600, I used to play tabletop simulator with him in VR. And that was a lot. I never made videos doing that, but that was a lot of fun too. You just did think of 2 Point Hospital when you said that? Yeah, and I see that's the thing. 2 Point Hospital is basically Theme Hospital, but better in every way. More watchable, more interesting to the viewers. It's everything. You should stream the new one, or LP the new one, obviously. But I don't have nostalgia for the, you know, for the new one. I have nostalgia for the art style and the sound effects of the old one. You know, so fuck what's good for the viewer. We're gonna play the old one. You know, it's like the Pharaoh remake, right? You know, we played Zeus. That's an Impressions game. There's a remake of Pharaoh, but I mean that one isn't necessarily good because they took the combat out, and it gets a lot of bad reviews. So I don't know. Chasing the algorithms exhausting. Oh yeah, I mean at every level. Look at the title of today's video, guys. It has caps in it. I cringed at myself putting that in all caps. I don't like doing that, but I thought, go on then. Alright, look, it's not a hard life. It's a good job. It's an easy life. It's good stuff. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I will see you tomorrow for the roundup. Drop your comments. Anything you want about the Ritualist. Oh my god, I just realised the Gale shot jump is Bond of Faith. It's that kind of twist. I think it's Bond of Faith. I just saw Liz do it. You mentioned Terraria. I mean, there are some games that I love, but not as like a content creator. Like, I love Terraria. I love survival crafting. I'm loving this game, Abiotic Factor, at the moment. I didn't play it last night. And not too much the night before either, to be honest. But, you know, I don't really think about those as YouTube projects. I just think they're fun to play with friends and in Discord, you know. Anyway. Oh, no, it's not. It's not. That's not the same thing as the Gale shot thing. Thank you, everybody. I'm seriously done now. See you next time. Ta-ta. No, let's try that again. It's still bugging. It's still bugging. Here we go.